The following is a Richie on Sports production.
Putting a little red by a Blue Haven pool on the purple, black, and gold, you got it. That's what we're doing this week by a Blue Haven pool, the standard bearer, the nation's leader in pool service. Log on to bluehaven.com and find out more. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to a special holiday edition of the Purple, Black, and Gold. Eric Ritchie alongside former Saints quarterback John Fourcade. And first of all, John, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And it's fun doing a football show like this by a pool as we get ready for Christmas.
Well, at least it's nice to be by a pool. You like to be by a pool when it's a little warmer, but it's nice today out here. It's not as cold as it's been in the past with us, but happy holidays to you as well, Eric.
We're, over the next 30 minutes, talking about the Saints' push towards the end of the regular season, getting ready for the playoffs, and as well as the gold and the LSU purple in the show, getting ready for Iowa as they get ready for a bowl game coming up on January 1st. But let's start with the Saints and go back to that game against the Rams where, again, we saw some issues, John. Certainly, Drew Brees was pressured. A couple of interceptions on the first two possessions led to touchdowns for the Rams. Coach Payton benches Charles Brown, makes some moves, and wow, I mean, there was a lot of issues early on.
Well, they've had deja vu. Last time they was in St. Louis, it sort of went the same way this way. O-line's not protecting. Drew's forcing the ball a little bit, no running game, flopping players around, defense got ran on, couldn't tackle. I mean, it just all went bad for them at the wrong time. One win and you're in, and now they got to regroup.
No question about it. Guys like Robert Quinn had a field day against the Saints offensive line. Let's hear now as the Saints talked about getting beat up a little bit from St. Louis.
Listen, I know they're going to get to me every now and then. I mean, we're going to, there's those guys, we go up against some pretty good pass rushers, and it's my job to get the ball out, and we work in concert in that regard. You get beat up from time to time, but my body's holding up well, and, this is part of the game, and refresh, recharge, and get ready to roll this week.
We've said it all year long, E. O-line has been the problem for the New Orleans Saints. No run protection, suspect on a passing protection, and right now Sean Payton is looking for the right five guys to put up front in front of Drew Brees to protect him. They must protect Drew Brees, but they got to find the right guys up front to do this.
Also going back to that St. Louis games and switching sides of the ball, Zach Stacy, again, had a field day against the Saints, 28 carries, 133 yards, and a touchdown. Again, the Saints defensively, no sacks and no turnovers.
We didn't stop the run. On all phases, special teams, we didn't make field goals, and they got an onside kick that stole the possession for them. So in all three phases, we didn't do well. And whenever we don't stop the run, they kill time of possession. Whenever we turn the ball over, that's drives that we kind of squander. And if we give them extra possession on special teams, then really putting ourselves in the hole and just couldn't climb out of it.
I feel like we have a better team, but they came out executing and pretty much dominated us. And it's getting towards the end of the year, and you can't play like that, and we know that. And we'll get back to the film and get this corrected.
You talk about their defense, no sacks, no turnovers. You've been seeing a little bit of that lately with the New Orleans Saints defensive side of the football. They must get turnovers and get scores off these turnovers. They just haven't been doing it. But right now they make adjustments at halftime. Did it in the Seattle game, did it in the Rams game. Something's wrong with this defense that they have to make adjustments at halftime, but they're already too far behind with the adjustments.
It's time for us to take our first break on the Purple, Black, and Gold. We'll hear from LSU's MVP. Who is your team MVP for the Tigers? We'll tell you who the Tigers picked themselves. But first, Payton's place. Sean Payton, very candid after the St. Louis game, to put it mildly. We'll have that as we roll on from a Blue Haven pool here in Destrehan. It's a nice pool. I kind of am partial to it because for the first time in my life, I've got a pool, and there it is. You can get one too. Log on to bluehaven.com.
This is Robert Namer. hot talk can only be cooled by an affordable, refreshing backyard resort from Blue Haven Pools and Spas. Since 1954, the #1 choice for building a new pool or existing pool remodeling and service. World's largest, best quality, best warranty, best price. Blue Haven Pools, certified pool designers, fully insured and rated. For health, entertainment, and recreation, visit bluehaven.com. That's bluehaven.com.
Tony Paver is where to go when looking for paved stone retaining, concrete, foundation brick, old brick, and walls flagstone. I can tell you firsthand, Tony's workers spent days working on the deck surrounding my pool, and I couldn't be happier with the meticulous work they did. For a free estimate, call Tony Paver at 504-319-7565 or just send him an email. You won't be sorry.
Hey, this is Lance Moore, number 16, and I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Lance Moore with a little Christmas/holiday greeting. Welcome back to the Purple, Black, and Gold's Holiday Edition. I'm Eric Ritchie alongside John Forcade. And as far as Sean Payton, I don't think I've heard him as candid as he was after the loss against St. Louis.
Well, there's no doubt about it. He's very candid right now in his whole decision about who he's going to play from throughout the year. You know, does he change kickers? Does he go out and find some guys on the offensive line to help Drew Brees? There are going to be some wholesale changes made on that front side of the football.
We'll go back to the podium in St. Louis for this week's edition of Peyton's Place.
You know, we can't line up and kick a field goal. We can't get the run stopped, turn the ball over. I mean, we do everything we talked about that you can't do to get a road win. You know, we knew that this is a team that presents some tough challenges with protection. Still, that being said, you know, how we played today was unacceptable. I saw enough, period. I mean, it was enough. Penalties, pressures, sacks, I saw enough. And at some point, you know, you just can't keep watching it. So, you know, feelings get hurt. It's tough. We're going to have to make and improve in a lot of areas or to play better than that, obviously, or else we'll get the same result, or it'll be a mixed bag. One week, you know, we'll play well, the next week it won't. So, but I'm sure the tape won't be very exciting. It'll be revealing, though.
Sean Payton's a little disturbed right now. He's trying to figure out what is going on with his offensive line. They can't run protect. They don't pass protect as well. Drew's getting hit, making forced turnovers on the offensive side of the football. But overall, he has to look at the brighter picture of this team. They're still in the playoff picture. They just got to go out and win one more, and they're in.
Absolutely, talking about the Saints getting ready for the playoffs, and again, finishing strong. That's what it's all about, and really playing your best football as you hit the postseason. Paul Boron, more on that subject. Let's go out to the Saints complex in Metairie, and Paul has more on the Saints' strong finish.
Eric, if the Saints never have to go back to St. Louis again, it'll be too soon. For the third straight time, the Black and Gold struggled at the Edward Jones Dome. And for the second straight time, they lost. But this was the worst of the bunch. 4 sacks, 3 personal fouls, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. It can all be summed up in one word.
That was pretty ugly. Obviously, it's a disappointing loss, extremely disappointing. Thought in all 3 areas we didn't play very well at all. Obviously, we didn't get them ready to play. We looked flat coming out, and I take responsibility for that.
This game, we let get away from us early. You know, the 2 turnovers, you know, turn into touchdowns, and I mean they got the upper hand right from the get-go, and then they kicked that onside, and you know, and then got another, you know, got the lead again. So I mean, it's tough to be in that position and try to fight your way back.
It's always hard immediately following a game, good or bad, to say what caused it to go well, what caused it to go wrong. Clearly, we didn't execute well enough to win in any phase of this game, and this has been a recurring theme for us on the road this year. And you know, as these games go and they get bigger and bigger, you know, that's something that you can't wait to figure out.
And the Saints better figure it out soon, because after a huge game in Carolina, the playoffs are just around the corner, and the Saints will likely be on the road on the way to the Super Bowl at some point. But after the St. Louis game, doubt seems to be creeping in about problems on the road.
Shoot, much has been written about how we played at home, how we played on the road, and you know what? That's where it is right now. Here's the thing. Let's be honest. We need to have the energy in a game like this. You know, week 14 and with what's at stake. And, you know, if we don't, then, hey, maybe that's a good sign as to where we're at.
So Sean Payton and the Saints acknowledging that there has been a problem on the road. In fact, Drew Brees told the assembled media, "We're proving you guys right when it comes to road inefficiency." And he added, "We simply have to get better." Let's send it back to you in Destrehan, Eric.
So as the Saints go down the regular season road, getting ready for the playoffs, again, CST is your home for your black and gold coverage. You can watch Outside the Huddle with Tom Gregory Thursdays at 6. Then on Saturday night with Victor Howell and Paul Crane, it's CST tonight. Then on Sundays, game days, you've got Saints tonight. Again, the exclusive Drew Brees one-on-one interview with Mike Neighbors. As far as the Saints finishing strong, headed towards the playoffs, 4 keys has more.
4 keys to the Saints moving forward as the playoffs come around. And first and foremost is find a protection for Drew Brees. Make sure he stays upright. Second, please, offense, don't turn the football over. If you turn the football over, you're in trouble. Defensively, offense and defense play together, but defensively the Saints must get turnovers and score some points off of their turnovers. But last but not least, we're all going to say this over and over. You got to win on the road to go through the playoffs.
No question about that. And, of course, when you do come to New Orleans, it is that time of the year, John. You're kind of getting ready for the bowl season. You're getting ready for the Saints in the postseason and the end of the regular season. I've got a great place for you to go. If you're in town, or even if you're local and you want a good place to watch the Saints game or get ready for the bowls, watch the bowl games, go on down to Bourbon Street. I got a great place. My good buddy Steve Smith down there at Spirits on Bourbon. Steve, it's a great place to watch the game.
Hey Eric, thanks for visiting us at Spirits on Bourbon. You know, everybody knows Santa Claus is getting ready to come to town, and for people in New Orleans and Bourbon Street, we know that means there's a lot of tourists that come into town. We have the Raging Cajuns and the Green Wave coming for the New Orleans Bowl in just a few days. Then Santa's coming to town. Then right after that, we have obviously New Year's Eve. We have a great matchup for the Sugar Bowl. I know some of the LSU fans aren't going to be real happy about it, but Alabama and Oklahoma, from a business perspective, it's a pretty solid matchup as far as the Sugar Bowl goes. And then, you know, once Christmas is over, it just runs right over and over. We have big event after big event down here, and Spirits is the place to come to, hang out, we drink in the barber chair, get ready for the pregame festivities, and everybody likes to get in with one of our blue blinking skull cups, the Resurrection, and it's a great place to watch the games. We have our dueling piano show nightly. When there's a big game on town, we drop the 10-foot screen down in front of them, and we show the ball game. So we're looking forward to a great football season. The Saints playoff run is coming up. Hopefully they can beat Carolina this week, and we'll go from there.
Steve, thanks. You're right. It's always a good time down there at Spirits on Bourbon. Always have a good time with those Resurrections as well and those blue skull mugs. But let me ask you, around this time of the year, a lot of people thinking about last-minute Christmas parties. Maybe their venue canceled on them. What about it? You guys got a pretty nice spot to host a party, don't you?
Yeah, you're right, Eric. You know, we have a great French Quarter courtyard in the back. If it's cold, we have heaters. We have TVs to watch all the ball games. We have a bar back there. If you have a big group, whether you're a Raging Cajun fan, a Green Wave, whether you're with the Oklahoma Sooners or the Alabama Crimson Tide, we're a great place for your Christmas party, if you have a last-second Christmas party, or for your New Year's Eve party, or you just want a place to watch the game, set off a little bit from Bourbon Street that's not quite as loud and intense. You really want to focus on your team, you can watch it here. Anyway, no matter what you do, for the game, before the game, during the game, after the game, you can get a shot in our shot chair or drink one of our Skull Cup Resurrections. It's a great way to tone up for the ball game and for the whole bowl season.
Steve, thanks so much. It's time for us to take a break on the Purple, Black, and Gold. When we return, LSU getting ready for Iowa and the Outback Bowl as we roll on from a Blue Haven pool here in Destrehan. They're the standard bearers in pools across the nation, been getting it done since 1954. In the heart of the French Quarter, the recently renovated Spirits on Bourbon, as seen on Spike TV, is your must-see destination on Bourbon Street, with nightly entertainment featuring our dueling piano show. Sing along and have a great time. Spirits on Bourbon, with our world-famous signature drink, the Resurrection, served in our souvenir blinking skull mug with tons of booze and a jalapeno for extra kick. Or try the Barber Beer. It's not a beer, it's a delicious mixed drink with whipped cream vodka, root beer schnapps, cream soda, and topped with whipped cream. Or if you dare, pay homage to our resident ghost, Edward Dubois, and have a shot in his barber chair. Come hungry. Our great food is served 24 hours a day, Thursday through Monday. Steaks, shrimp beignets, shrimp po' boys, and the best gumbo in the French Quarter. And for souvenirs, visit our website at spiritsonbourbon.com. Spirits on Bourbon, 615 Bourbon Street.
In a world full of ordinary, invite the unexpected. Bellegarde Hardscapes. Be prepared for company. Visit us at bellegarde.biz.
For your decorative outdoor living needs, call Gemstone, your local Bellegarde dealer, in the New Orleans area and the North Shore, in Baton Rouge, and in Lafayette. Now is the time to purchase or refinance. Interest rates and home prices are at historic lows. Why not use a local company for all of your mortgage needs? Call Preferred Home Mortgage and find out why we are preferred. Welcome back to this holiday edition of the Purple, Black, and Gold. Eric Ritchie alongside former Ole Miss quarterback John Forcade. And this time of the year, John, it's certainly challenging for student athletes as they prepare for finals, Christmas break, and getting ready for a bowl game. I know at Ole Miss you didn't go to a bowl game, but you were the Senior Bowl MVP.
Yeah, I know I wasn't in the participating bowl, but I did buy 4 tickets to go to Sugar Bowl those 4 years in a row. These young men are preparing themselves like this. They're going to take their exams. They get 30 days, at least 30 days to get ready for a bowl game. They're all excited. It's a lot of fun. You get practice time on this. But the main thing is don't get in trouble off the field. You see a lot of kids get suspended prior to bowl games, and that's where the coaches step in. But these kids should be excited, rewarded. They go to a bowl game, especially in sunny Florida.
After a week off following the Arkansas game, after the finals, they got back to practice, and before they take off for Christmas break, we'll hear from Les Miles on the Mad Hatter.
I think the veteran wide receivers are enjoying him because he's, working hard to get him the ball and doing a good job. And so I think there's some, get after and supporting. You betcha. Well, I want you to know one thing. If they don't get fired up about playing in a quality bowl game against an opponent like Iowa, there's something wrong with them. You just watch that film. They got a big back that runs hard. They got an offensive line that's very disciplined and will block you, and you're going to have to fight. And they're a good football team. So honestly, it's exactly what we need in the season with a real challenge.
The Mad Hatter, he's excited, too, to be going to bowl football games this upcoming season. After the season they've had, this is going to be rewarding for him and his coaching staff as well as his players. He wants to win this game because it's against the Big Ten, where he's played his college football and has also coached in the Big Ten. Mad Hatter, good luck to you against Iowa.
We told you earlier in the show we would announce the LSU team MVP. If you haven't heard, it's wide receiver Jarvis Landry. Led the Tigers with 75 catches, had 1,172 yards receiving, as well as 10 touchdowns. A well-deserved honor for Jarvis Landry.
It's an honor, and humbling for me. I think that, to these coaching staff to allow me to perform, the way I did, and my teammates to push me, and my talent definitely, it's a blessing, and I give God the credit also, for just allowing me and giving me the ability to be prepared for every opportunity.
Jarvis and the LSU Tigers now preparing for the Outback Bowl, January 1st, a New Year's Day bowl, a noon kickoff in Tampa as the 9-3 LSU Tigers look for that coveted 10-win season, taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes out of the Big Ten, who come into this game at 8-4.
I'm ready to play. I'm excited. You know, we didn't have the season we wanted to have, but at the end of the day, we still have something to play for. We have a 10-win season, which is going to be the first time in history that we have 4 10-win seasons. And honestly, man, I'm just ready to play football and play a great Iowa team.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play anybody, to be honest with you. Getting to a great site like Tampa and just being able to go out and just have fun with your team at the Bull site, and then go out on the first and fight for victory. Anthony's going to be a great quarterback as well, but you have limited time to really get to feel a quarterback out. So right now we're in the process of just seeing exactly where he's at, and come game time I think we'll be fine.
4 keys for LSU's victory in the bowl game simply is this: can the young new quarterback produce for the LSU Tigers? I think he will. Secondly, will they run the football against the Iowa Hawkeyes of the Big Ten? That I think they will. Defensively, put pressure on the quarterback for the Iowa. And overall, fourth and most important thing, go out there, have fun, play loose, and come back with another win.
Time for another break on the Purple, Black, and Gold. We go from college to the high school ranks, but not just any high school. We're talking about the Rummel Raiders and a state championship for John's nephew, Chase Forcade, and we go behind the scenes when Purple, Black, and Gold rolls on. Tony Paver is where to go when looking for paved stone retaining, concrete, foundation brick, old brick, and walls flagstone. I can tell you firsthand, Tony's workers spent days working on the deck surrounding my pool, and I couldn't be happier with the meticulous work they did. For a free estimate, call Tony Paver at 504-319-7565 or just send him an email. You won't be sorry.
This is Robert Namer. Hot talk can only be cooled by an affordable, refreshing backyard resort from Blue Haven Pools and Spas. Since 1954, the #1 choice for building a new pool or existing pool remodeling and service. World's largest, best quality, best warranty, best price. Blue Haven Pools, certified pool designers, fully insured and rated. For health, entertainment, and recreation, visit bluehaven.com. That's bluehaven.com.
Want to remind you about NOLACatholicLeague.com, a high school website devoted strictly to the Catholic League in New Orleans, and now, obviously, a ton on the Rummel Raiders and their second consecutive state championship. This is a portion of the show that we'll show over on Cox 4, but I want to take you behind the scenes for some unbelievable all-access for Rummel's championship win after the game was over.
Any other questions? Congratulations, guys.
All right, thank you all. Jay Roth and Rummel had just wrapped up their post-game news conference. For everyone else, the Raiders' second straight championship story had just ended. But for us, it was just getting underway.
Monday at school, I'm making an announcement. There's nothing on Monday. Tuesday are pictures at 10 o'clock. State championship pictures! Yeah.
From the locker room, it was a quick shuffle through the corridors of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Let's go, let's roll, let's roll.
If winning a state title hadn't sunk in yet, there was a pretty good reminder that was about to get a new home. On the bus, players acting like they had just won another state title. And guess who was behind the wheel, driving the bus?
I am the bus driver. I drive to all the games. I drive to road trips, I drive to practices. Instead of going in style, this is how we travel every year. So when people volunteer to say, Coach, we'll charter you buses to the Dome, I said, no. This is who we are, this is how we go to every game, this is how we're gonna get there tonight. Roll Rummel Raiders, red, white, and blue. Roll Rummel Raiders, red, white, and blue.
The fight song signified the 7.5-mile drive back to their Metairie school was almost over. But the next jaw-dropping phase of the celebration was waiting at the school. While the players received a rock star reception, the best was saved for the bus driver. Once inside, former Rummel players had already gathered to celebrate with the state champs.
We're yet state champions!
And for traditions that have taken place since the early 70s, but have never before been seen on television.
That's a big thing for me, seeing all the former players that come back, and that's why these guys play so hard, because they understand about the tradition. That's Delshon Mosey, always in costume. Well, the most important one is the last one. That means we were state champs, you know, and the St. Augustine was a big one that got us there. And that board will stay like that to the new year, Eric, and then we start over again. That light's going to stay on to New Year, and then we start over again in January.
You can see more from the Rummel Raiders, hear from Coach Roth, a couple of players as we do our NOLACatholicLeague.com TV show. You can see it on Cox 4 Wednesday at 6:30. It also replays Thursdays and Fridays. And don't forget about riverparishfootball.com. This week and the following weeks, we'll be handing out our postseason awards. Donovan Isom, Jeremy Jackson, Rajon Marbley, some big names coming out of the River Parish this year. Who will get what postseason award? We're down to our final timeout on the purple, black, and gold. Shout out time when we return. In the heart of the French Quarter, the recently renovated Spirits on Bourbon, as seen on Spike TV, is your must-see destination on Bourbon Street. With nightly entertainment featuring our dueling piano show. Sing along and have a great time. Spirits on Bourbon, with our world-famous signature drink, the Resurrection, served in our souvenir blinking skull mug with tons of booze and a jalapeno for extra kick. Or try the Barber Beer. It's not a beer, it's a delicious mixed drink with whipped cream vodka, root beer schnapps, cream soda, and topped with whipped cream. Or if you dare, pay homage to our resident ghost, Edward Dubois, and have a shot in his barber chair. Come hungry. Our great food is served 24 hours a day, Thursday through Monday. Steaks, shrimp beignets, shrimp po' boys, and the best gumbo in the French Quarter. And for souvenirs, visit our website at spiritsonbourbon.com. Spirits on Bourbon, 615 Bourbon Street.
Step outside the ordinary to a place where dining out never requires reservations. And paradise is as close as your patio. A world paved with style and a little bit of magic. Bellegarde Hardscapes. Be prepared for company. For a free idea book, call 877-BELLEGARDE or visit bellegarde.biz.
For your decorative outdoor living needs, call Gemstone, your local Bellegarde dealer, in the New Orleans area and the North Shore, in Baton Rouge, and in Lafayette.
Hi, this is Thomas Morstead, and just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas.
It's shout-out time as we wrap up another edition of the Purple, Black, and Gold. My man, John Forcade, you're up.
My shout-out is to Chase Forcade. I know you've heard me all year long say his name. Chase Forcade, Rummel Raiders, J. Roth, state championship #2, and he turned 16. That's my shout-out to him. And to East Jefferson High School and to John Curtis for winning their state championship. There's my shout-outs.
Coach Salta from Maggio, Coach Curtis, and Coach Roth, I ditto those shout-outs as well. Congratulations to them. And on a similar note, I'm going to send my shout-out. Second consecutive week, I get a ride somewhere. After getting that ride on the bus with the Rummel football team, after all the celebration was over, I realized, oh yeah, my car is still at the Superdome. Mike Strom from the Times-Picayune was there and gave me a ride back to the Dome. So Mike, a shout out to you. Thanks again. So again, that wraps up our holiday edition of the Purple, Black, and Gold. For all the good folks around here that do the show behind the scenes, for my man John Forcade, I'm Eric Ritchie. Thanks so much for watching. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone. Good night.